Good evening, everybody. I'm Lou Dobbs. Support for Donald Trump continues to build. More money, more endorsements, more members of Congress joining up with the presumptive Republican presidential nominee and the candidate they expect to prevail in November. A new Trump super PAC just launched says it's on track to raise $20 million by July. Influential mega donor Sheldon Adelson today officially endorsed Trump. He's telling other Republicans to do the same, and especially, he says, elected officials. Adelson at the same time implicitly telling them to shell out more than a few bucks as well. And today on Capitol Hill, a lot of elected officials and lawmakers meeting with the Trump campaign, most of them quickly getting aboard the Trump train.
We are all coming together. We've always said, most all the members have said, they're going to support the Republican nominee for president. That will be Mr. Trump. And today the room was overflowing.
The Weekly Standard's Fred Barnes will be here to talk about the growing support for Trump and why any conservative who would support Hillary is an idiot. In politics, there are winners and sometimes there are a few really sore losers. And yes, we're talking tonight specifically about Senator Ted Cruz, perhaps the sorest loser among a number of sore losers who battled Trump for their party's nomination. Cruz has increasingly assumed the tone and air of a fundamentalist preacher whose flock has disappointed him and most of whom have abandoned him. Cruz today came out with a bizarre, ominous warning for all Trump supporters.
Everyone who was responsible for the rise of Donald Trump, they will bear that responsibility going forward. But there were more than a few players who played a disproportionate role in that rise.
Katrina Pearson, the Trump campaign's national spokeswoman, will be here to give us some insight and perhaps an interpretation of the Cruz remarks and what appears to be a Capitol Hill embrace of the Donald, even though it does appear Senator Cruz isn't quite yet one of them. Also, Democrats and their left-wing enablers in the media, well, some of them think they've got a new issue. Trump declined the honor of sharing his tax returns with his political opponents on a hostile national media. The head of the Republican National Committee today said, so what?
If he doesn't release his tax returns, I don't know if anyone cares or if it's going to have any effect, because it certainly, all of these other decisions that he's made have only helped him.
We'll take up the left wing's growing obsession with all things Trump and why he seems to never lose control of the narrative. Tom Shalhoub and Tammy Bruce among our guests here tonight. Our top story, the Republican Party coming around quickly and supporting Donald Trump. They're also backing that embrace with money, and it seems lots of it. With less than 6 months till the general election, Trump is now winning the support he needs to defeat the Democrats in the fall. Fox News senior national correspondent John Roberts has our report.
Like moths to the flame, the afterglow of Donald Trump's D.C. visit today drew record numbers to his campaign's weekly Capitol Hill outreach meeting.
And today the room was overflowing, and most of the committee chairmen are coming on board, so it's right where we wanted to be.
Trump now has the endorsement or support of 68 members of Congress. Still no word on what House Speaker Paul Ryan will do, but Trump supporters believe he will come on board.
The sooner the better.
In Vegas today, hedge fund managers who Trump would hit with new taxes are being courted by Trump's financial team at the Skybridge Alternative Conference. Trump Finance Chairman Steven Mnuchin is after big dollars to bankroll the general election.
Steve set a goal of $1 billion, and so, listen, we're going to do everything we can to get to that $1 billion number.
But one of the guests at the conference, former CIA Director David Petraeus, went off script today. Petraeus took aim at Trump's foreign policy in an op-ed writing, when Western politicians propose blanket discrimination against Islam, they bolster the terrorists' propaganda. At the same time, Democrats are turning up the heat on Trump over his refusal to release his tax returns until an audit is complete. Hillary Clinton intimating that he has something to hide.
My husband and I have released 33 years of tax returns. We got 8 years on our website right now. So you got to ask yourself, why doesn't he want to release them?
Trump says he hopes to put the returns out before the election, but bristled this morning when pressed for more.
What is your tax rate? It's none of your business. You'll see it when I release. But I fight very hard to pay as little tax as possible.
And in a hint of what lies ahead for Trump, the Washington Post today recycled an audio recording from 25 years ago, where Trump appears to be playing his own PR person.
What's your name again? John Miller. And he's starting to do tremendously well financially.
Despite the fact ex-wife Marla Maples identified the caller as Trump back in 1991, Trump today insisted it wasn't him.
You're going so low as to talk about something that took place 25 years ago about whether or not I made a phone call. I guess you're saying under a presumed name. The answer is no, and let's get on to more current subjects.
While we may never know if the voice on the recording is indeed Trump, he is now on the record as denying it. And with the Washington Post assigning a 20-reporter team to look under every rock in Trump's history, he'll likely be faced with more opportunities to respond to items from his past between now and November. Lou?
John, thank you very much. John Roberts.